I think the opposition, if they wanted to appear honest to the people of Zimbabwe, they should publicly admit that they made a mistake.
Yes.
Mr. Chamisa and his political activists, they must admit that they made a mistake by whitewashing a criminal activity, a criminal event that should have been condemned. The opposition stood on the podiums side by side with ZanuPF politicians, and they said, we are happy that we have managed to remove Mr. Mugabe from office. If you are a serious Zimbabwean, you must begin to question the integrity of the intentions of the opposition towards the ordinary citizens. If you want to know what God is saying about Zimbabwe, this is the time to learn from me. What I'm telling you now is what God literally hounds me with these matters. When he wants to talk to me, I find no peace. And then when I come to talk to you here, I'm telling you some of the things that God has allowed me to talk to you about. There are things about Zimbabwe that I'll only be able to speak to a few people. You try to go to work, they're giving you useless bond notes. You try to sell something, you don't get any profit. You go into the supermarket, you can't buy cooking oil. Everything is not affordable in Zimbabwe right now. Why is that? It's a curse. Take it from me. Zimbabwe is cursed. There are so many reasons why Zimbabwe is cursed. At the top of those reasons, you are going to find innocent blood. Inzwai vana baba nana amai. Ini ndiri muranda waMwari. Zvandiri kukutaurira izvi ndizvo zvimwe zvandaida kuudza vaMugabe musi wa5 June 2017 pandakanyora tsamba ndichida kuvaona. Ndichida kuvaudza zvakare kuti havasisina mazuva akawanda vari pachigaro vakaramba kuzvinzwa. From June to November pane mwedzi mungana. Dai vaMugabe vakandidedza pandakavanyorera tsamba muna musi wa5 June 2017 kuu yakaitwa muna November ingadai isina kuitwa, because zvimwe zvezvinhu zvadaida kuvaudza ndezvekuti chibva izvezvi mutsvage munhu anoenda pachigaro ichi. Those are some of the things I wanted to tell him. If you read the letter I sent to Mr. Mugabe, I hinted that something wrong is going to happen very soon. I hinted on that. So what I'm saying now is the biggest problem we have as citizens is that we are too simple and naive to the level where there are people today who think that this so-called new opposition party is going to achieve something different from what was happening in the previous elections. That naivety is worrisome. Why could you expect a match win when the referee who is refereeing this match is a member of the opponent team? Why people are so fanatic and crazy and anxious and excited that this CCC is going to achieve something? It leaves a lot to be desired. It's amazing. Zvotoshamisa izvozvo kuti vanhu vari kufunga kuti chii chaicho chavari kufungidzira kuti chichasiyana nezvanga zvichiitika makore esa. This is a very serious problem. And as you shall see in the public statement that I'm going to issue, we are actually pleading with opposition members to discontinue their political activities to save lives. Their political ambitions are going to remain political ambitions. They are not going to materialize. You are going to be surprised by some people who are going to join the ruling party defecting from the opposition. Some of them are going to be intimidated. Some of them are going to be given money. Those who have already been bought out, they are just the beginning of the end of some of the ambitions of the opposition. The situation in Zimbabwe has escalated to very, very dangerous levels. Very, very dangerous levels. And there is also an invisible external hand in the politics of Zimbabwe. One of the foreign hands is of a Chinese nature. To date, China has invested about $4 billion in Zimbabwe. And China knows the volatility in Zimbabwean politics. And one of the effects of this external hand is that they are resourcing this vampire to protect the party because of the Chinese investments. The Chinese want to protect their money. The Chinese have poured in money, and the people of Zimbabwe have not benefited from those investments. The money invested ended up in the pockets of the so-called political elite. So China is going to lose if ZanuPF loses an election. So China is a guarantor again of electoral victory to ZanuPF. If you remember, in 2013, China gave ZanuPF more than $200 million to campaign with. This is a fact. You can go and check history. Mr. Chamisa's strategy is not working in Zimbabwe. It's not. It's not going to work again. Elections are not going to work for us. My advice to them is they should stop their political activities until they sit down and find a strategy that brings them and equips them to match the enemy they are facing. The book of Luke chapter 14 has got a very graphic analysis of our Zimbabwean problem, because what we have now, we have a situation where the opposition leaders are convening rallies, asking their parties to wear, the members to wear political regalia. After the rally, Mr. Chamisa and his comrades, they go to their suburbs. They are living inside walled and gated homes. They are hiring security guards. They have installed CCTV cameras. They are armed. They have dogs. But their members, they live in Chitungwiza. They live in Budiriro. They live in Glenora.
Yes.
Some of them are living in homes where there is no security at all. So the murderers are coming at night, taking them, killing them. And all that we are getting is a public statement, a press statement, a press release. May his soul rest in peace. One by one, our brothers and sisters are being murdered. It is irresponsible for the opposition leaders to continue with their political activities, especially seeing that their activists, their members are killed. They are brutally murdered. They are dying in their numbers every day because of these activities. Their own wives are safe. Their own children are safe. It is our brothers and sisters, ordinary poor citizens, who are being murdered. A press statement is not going to bring back more Blessing Ali. A Twitter message from Fadzai Mahere is not going to send more Blessing Ali's children to school. This is a war. This is a serious matter. It is not student activism. This is not University of Zimbabwe Student Representative Council. This is not. This is somebody's future, somebody's livelihood. Somebody's children are not going to go to school because their father was murdered. Somebody's family is going to starve because of these politics. This is not right. It's not responsible. I am accusing our opposition political activists and leaders of practicing reckless politics that is putting their members as pawns in a political chess game, sacrificing their members so that they may appear on a press statement video, dressed in expensive clothes, speaking fluent English, but with no plan to promise their members that no opposition member shall be killed again. We are going to do this to protect you. Condemning ZanuPF is not going to intimidate ZanuPF into stopping their murder. This is dangerous. This is dangerous. Statements to condemn these violence and murders, it's not enough. The people of Zimbabwe must demand more from the opposition. If they can't do more than a statement condemning these horrific facts, horrific acts, they should shut down the opposition parties. Let everyone accept that we can't do anything about our problem. Yes. Let's all die as game in the hands of monstrous idiots and monstrous animals. This is not nice.
Yes.
We are the church and we represent the true church of God. We speak from God's mind. The opposition leaders are passively participating in the murder of Zimbabwean citizens through their apathy. Is it possible that some of the opposition leaders are given money behind closed doors to practice mouth politics and create an image that there is opposition politics in Zimbabwe, but the party, the ruling party must continue to reign? Is it possible? It's a question. Hatina vanhu vari kupiwa mari here vachinzi imi tichauraya vanhu vakawanda imi hatimbokubatai. Imi kana tauraya munongoenda papress statement munotikondema. Kana election yauya munongoitawo ruzha tichikokupaiwo nekuseri tichikodya tese. Toda kuti vari kunze kwenyika vafunge kuti muno mune opposition, kuti zviriko zvakadaro izvozvo. Zimbabwe now needs a liberator. We are going to need to go into a struggle for freedom. We are going to need to fight for the liberation of Zimbabwe from colonization from another black man. It appears in 1980 we were not delivered and liberated from colonialism. They just gave us another colonizer with a black face. We need a liberator. There are people who need to sit down and ask themselves, God has given me certain abilities. Are these abilities not given to me for a certain purpose as this, for such a time as this, to stand up and defend the weaklings that we have in our country? We need a new generation of people who are going to start to establish a new strategy and a new approach to offer an alternative solution to our homegrown problems. Just imagine if Julius Malema was a Zimbabwean. Just ask yourself, what would he have done to address the murder of Blessing Ali? Yes, the environments are different. I'm just saying, just imagine. Just imagine. We need people who are going to practice mature politics, who are not going to use somebody's misfortune to advance a political agenda. People who are using deaths of their members to advance their own personal political agenda. Some of the statements we are hearing from the so-called press statements, you can hear that they are not coming from the heart. You can feel that these people are not affected by what has happened to their members. Some of the problems are caused by giving responsibilities to children who do not have an experience of the struggles of the people.
Yes.
We need adults in these things. Not just in terms of age, but in terms of experience.
Yes.
Some of the people you are promoting to senior national positions, you are shooting yourself in the foot. There are adults who are going to say to you, why can I join a children's play? Inotodzeva night. Gaya vana vatambe. Kana vakuru vakuda kuita something, tichazoungana.
Yes.
There are things that adults should be left to do. Proper adults, mature people, people who can speak from their heart and share the sorrow of their fellow party members, the grief of their party members. People are not looking for an eloquent orator, a motivational speaker. People want a leader.
Yes.
Munofunga kuti chirungu chinokuita leader. Taura chirungu chiri correct. Chitaura semunhu ane 17 years.
Yes.
You don't have an experience of what other people have gone through. Right now, more Blessing Ali's children are orphaned. They don't have a mother.
Yes.
They can't have anyone to embrace them when they are sick. When you talk, show that emotion.
Yeah.
So that when we suffer, I know that I'm suffering from something that we all feel about.
Oh, yes.
Don't love the cameras like that. It's not good. Nofarama cameras zvakanyanya. There are going to be some of the nails that are going to be the nails of your political coffins. Where are the adults? I want to speak to strangers. I want to speak to people who I know I can't describe very well, but I know they will know that I'm talking to them. There are people that I'm talking to right now. God gave you what you have for such a time as this one. It is selfish for you to leave people strangled to death when you are holding the knife that can cut the noose of the rope. It is not right. Stand up and take up your responsibility. There are people who are given certain abilities by God that are going to be national assets which can be used to help people in times of need. Those people are living luxury lives. They are comfortable. They don't want to come out and stand with the people of Zimbabwe because they themselves are comfortable. That is selfish. You should stand up and be a citizen who is patriotic. Thomas Jefferson, the US president, said, when lawlessness becomes normal in a country, resistance becomes a duty. It is a duty to resist these kinds of ills. I want to remind you that we did what we felt was the most graceful thing to do in the beginning of our assignment when God talked to us and spoke to us about his concerns in national issues of Zimbabwe. We didn't start by openly talking about them in the church. We did that which was prudent. We wrote letters to the president and we sent them, not once, not twice, 3 times, asking for audience with them.
Yes.
We wanted to communicate some of these things to them. But just like the wicked kings of Israel, our president and his team, they snubbed us. So that which we are left with now is to speak using the only platform we have. Because when we find nemesis catching up with the whole nation, we don't want the whole nation to be in the dark. If we had spoken to them, if they had listened, they could have made corrections, and some of the things that are happening now could not have been happening. They couldn't listen to us. Even when we showed you the images of those generals which we have lost, we don't find joy that they have died. We are actually sorrowful that they died in their sins.
Yes.
They died in their ignorance. They died in their arrogance. And there is no heaven for such people.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how much we like them or how much you like them and how close you are to them. They needed to come to us to teach them the word of Christ for their salvation. So the church has a role to play, and the state cannot stop the church from exercising its duties
Yes.
to inform the world of the will of God.
Yes.